All right, we're live.
Okay,
Great.
we now call this meeting to order of the Cheshire Public Library Advisory Board on November 16th, 2020. And our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Does anybody have a
I
flag?
have a flag.
Okay,
There's the flag.
okay. I pledge allegiance to
Allegiance to the flag
the flag
Flag
of
of
the
the
United States
States
of
of
America
America and to the republic
for
for which
which
it
it stands,
stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. It's always difficult with all the different delays on Zoom.
But we're getting better.
That was pretty good.
Oh, Delina just texted me. Sorry, tied up at work, not going to make tonight's meeting. Okay. All
I
right.
missed Alina.
Yeah. But, you know, as a healthcare professional,
I know.
let me just text her back. Okay. I just texted her back, understand. I know she's kind of swamped as a nurse in a school. I mean,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. First order of business is to approve the meeting minutes from October 26th. And I have to say, sorry about any confusion about the meeting dates and the minutes and the agenda. You know, it's a difficult time for everybody to get our days calibrated and our documents right, and we don't meet in person. So sorry for any confusion that we may have had about this meeting. But we all
And
seem to have
Dawn, I am
gotten,
here.
yeah, we all seem to have gotten
Oh,
our,
hi, Kathy.
Okay, sorry,
Well,
didn't mean to interrupt, Harold, so.
that's okay. Has everybody looked at the minutes? Okay. Can we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Terry made a
Second.
motion to approve
Second,
the minutes.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Terry.
So we're all set.
Yep.
The next order of business is we're going to have a presentation from the Library Marketing and Technical Services Department. Been trying to, it's the second meeting. We've tried to have a little program, some information at each of our meetings about the library or library operations so that we can increase our knowledge as library board members. So Beth, I'm going to hand it to you to introduce who's ever doing the presenting, and the rest of us, except the presenter, should probably go on mute, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you, Harold. So Emily Verstig is the assistant director who is also oversees our marketing and technology department. And you're familiar with her as she's been helping us host our Zoom meetings. I'm still not all that comfortable with the whole getting live on YouTube. So she's been great with that. But her team consists of Louise Leclerc, who is our social marketing maven, and Jared Goldman, who is a relatively new hire, just been here about a year and a half with us, who we stole from the Apple Genius store. And he actually replaced Emily when she moved up to the assistant director position. And he's really our everything technology. If it's got a wire on it, Jared deals with it. If it doesn't have a wire on it, Jared deals with it. You know, but he's been great. Anybody who's done social marketing for any of their organizations knows how much work it is. It takes constant attention and dedication. People expect things 24/7, and Louise certainly delivers on that. And I won't go too far into their, because I'm sure they'll share with you what they do, but I couldn't be prouder of this team, particularly during the pandemic. It's been incredibly important to have good marketing, good messaging, and excellent technology. We couldn't have gotten off the ground with our virtual programming without this team. So I have to give them a huge round of applause for what they were able to do from behind the scenes and very skillfully. A lot of the other departments are very jealous that we have this team in the library and would love to have their own. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Emily, to take it away with the presentation.
You know what, Beth? Can I just interrupt for a second? I'm sorry. I think we forgot to have Dawn take the roll.
Oh, yeah. And with the minutes, there wasn't an announcement whether or not it was going to be unanimous for approval of the minutes. But I will take the roll.
Okay.
All right. We have Harold Kramer,
Here.
Todd Dixon,
Here.
Terry Graham,
Here,
Jody Heritage,
Jody's here.
She's muted, yeah, but she's here.
I'm
Okay,
here. I'm here.
Kathy Nankin,
Here.
and we know that Delina is not present. Beth Crowley,
Here.
and I apologize from last meeting, and I will announce her tonight because she is such a driving force. Emily Verstig,
Thanks, Dawn.
you're welcome. And, oh, is Sylvia on?
No.
Sylvia could not make it
No.
tonight either.
Okay, so
Yes,
did
ma'am.
I get everybody then?
And we have Jared Goldman.
Yes, Jared Goldman and Louise Leclerc.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you,
And
Thank you, Don.
does
thank
that,
you.
okay. Sorry to interrupt, but we have to do these procedural things.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. So I'm gonna share my screen. And hopefully you guys can see this.
Mhm.
Yep, looks
All
good.
right.
That's cute in the jammies.
Yep, that's
That's
pretty
how we
much
work
what we're
now.
all doing right now. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of the Technology and Marketing Department at Cheshire Public Library. So we are a 3-person team. I'm the department head, and I previously worked as the technology coordinator for about 3 years. Louise Leclerc has been our social media coordinator since before my time at the library. And Jared Goldman joined us as our new technology coordinator, replacing me about 1.5 years ago. And Louise is an award-winning social media expert, and Jared is a very knowledgeable and patient technology teacher, as well as a talented media producer and musician. And he comes to us from Apple, where he used to work. I handle our web development, our coding, our vetting of new implementations and products, IT budget and various systems. And I'm very proud of our 3-person team, and I think our strengths really complement each other. Plus, we're all kind of technology crazy, so it works out. So what do we do? Well, first we provide support and training for all the devices and digital platforms that are used by both the library patrons and staff. This includes vetting, testing, and implementing new systems that we then help staff to learn and utilize. There is no device that we can't figure out and support. We also provide patron training through drop-in technology help and other technology classes. And in the before times, we also did some fun hands-on programming like virtual reality demonstrations, and we had a lot of computer classes and more. Cheshire also has an IT company, Apex. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but the town contracts with Apex to manage our town-wide technology budget and to maintain our networks and our servers and our domain. But having an in-house team at the library means that we are able to address and often fix problems ourselves, which saves days, if not weeks, in the time that it takes to get things resolved. So we also take the stress away from staff having to contact the town or the vendors for problems on their own. We handle all of that, and we handle the tickets and the back and forth coordination with all of these parties. So I was once asked to troubleshoot an electric pencil sharpener. So I like to joke that if it plugs in or it has a battery, it probably falls within our department. And you know what? We can probably fix it, and we usually do. Jared and Louise and I, if one of us can't figure it out, the other one is usually there and usually gets it. Our second function is marketing. So we get the word out about what the library has to offer, from programs to our collection to our services and everything else. Patrons can not only utilize our collection, they can only utilize our collection and services if they know that they exist. And so how do we let them know that they exist, especially during a pandemic? It pretty much is going to fall to everything that's digital. So to accomplish this, we provide both physical and digital marketing, and we also have a lot of social media engagement as well. So we have everything from flyers and brochures to event calendars, promotional videos that have been produced by Jared in the past year that are amazing. We have our website, our newsletter, Wowbrary, which is a new platform that lets people know about items that have just been added to our collection, and more. So As you might imagine, digital marketing and a digital presence is more important than ever during COVID. People are isolated at home, they can't attend in-person events, they may be afraid to visit the library to browse in person. My department of 3 people has been phenomenal in getting the word out. I want to give major kudos to both Jared and Louise. From Jared's amazing promotional videos to his setting up Zoom so that we can provide tech support at the library to patrons who come in and use our computers. We can do that safely and remotely. To Louise, just posting photos of what new books that we have in, to making adorable videos, just everything to just keep people engaged, while they're staying home. We try to use technology to its fullest potential to support the library in any way that we can. As an example of how we've succeeded, our unique web visits are up 28% in fiscal year 2019 over the previous year, which is quite a big increase. And in 2020 so far, which is not yet over, you can see that we're already at 128,000 views this year, as opposed to the 104,000 of the previous calendar year. So I'm very proud of the work that our department has done to keep everybody engaged during this time. We're also,
Emily, you should mention that you designed the website as well. You don't just maintain it.
yeah, so yeah, I design and we're probably going to do a redesign at some point, but yes, I also design and maintain the website. But Louise drives everybody to the website as well. So
Yeah.
we all work, as a team, to try to get the word out there. We're also forward thinking enough to purchase Wowberry, which I want to also thank Louise for recommending it. Basically, Wowberry sends an automatic newsletter out each week that has what items we just added to our collection, whether they're physical or they're electronic. And so, patrons who don't want to come into the library to browse, because, the pandemic and everything, they just don't feel safe, they can always get this newsletter every week to see what we have. And as you can see, just for the month of October, we had 437 clicks through to our catalog for patrons to borrow items. So that's been a great product that we added just recently. And now I'm just going to turn it over to Louise. She can give you guys an overview of social media and what she does. She's amazing.
Oh, yes. And, okay, so I want to share my screen. Let me see. Hold on. That's mine. Okay, can we see this? Let me start the actual slideshow here. Hold on. From the beginning. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just go over, but everybody knows what social media is, so I don't have to backtrack to what it is and why we do it. But especially in the last 9 months or so, it's become an incredibly important tool for communication. When people can't get a hold of us in person, this is how they've been reaching out to us to ask questions or to find out about what's going on at the library, either a program or items or services. So it's really kind of become a frontline method of communication for us. So we have 27,000 followers across all our platforms. That's almost the population of our town. I mean, these aren't all people that live in Cheshire. They're people that live all over the world, but a lot of them are local followers. A lot of them are other libraries, because libraries network with each other over social media very frequently. This is how we get ideas for new things to try and new programs to launch, and just new ideas in general are shared daily on social media among libraries. So that's not only are we maintaining communication with our patrons, we're communicating with other libraries around the world as well. And that's very important. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of our bigger platforms. We have 7 major platforms that I oversee. I'm going to go over a few of the bigger ones. Facebook, obviously, you know what Facebook is. You got to have it. You might hate it, but you got to have it because everybody's on it. And we use Facebook for a variety of ways. We promote the first picture here. This is what the Wildberry post looks like when it posts once a week on our Facebook page. It gives a little snapshot of some of the new items that we've just ordered or just come into the library. If we're going to change our hours or any kind of policy change, we always pop that up on social media with a colorful graphic. We promote our events. There's a calendar on our Facebook page with all our upcoming events. The things that are the most popular, silly cartoons. That's what gets people coming back to us. So it's like Kelly, our teen librarian, she creates a lot of the Facebook content. And our little algorithm that we use is for every one informational post, we got to have 2 that are just fun. So you sweeten the pot with the silly things like quotes and cartoons, and then once in a while you put in something that's actual important information. Instagram. And our Facebook page has how many followers now? 9,297. So we're creeping up on 10,000 Facebook followers, which is a lot. Instagram, this is mostly just pictures. And what we use, with Facebook, it's mostly us. It's not about self-promotion so much as it's about promotion of literacy, about promotion of the love of reading, the love of books, the importance of reading, the importance of books. That's kind of our focus on Facebook. So it's not a lot of commercials about what's going on at the library. It's commercials for reading. Instagram is more internally focused. It's about what's going on at the library, specifically at Cheshire Library. So we post, like here was when we started doing the grab and go, and we opened up our book drop. We had pictures for that. We take pictures of new books that come in for people that don't feel comfortable coming in to browse. I try to take pictures. I post something every week with new books on it so that people can at least see what's new on the shelves without having to come in if they're not comfortable coming in. We post pictures of our programs. So we're not promoting the program before it started. What we're sharing the fun or what we did at the program after the fact. And that's almost more effective than promoting programs beforehand, because if you show people what fun you can have at our library program, they're more likely to be interested in signing up for another one some other time. And we post silly pictures of the staff here. Look how fun they looked on Halloween this year. And of course, the book faces. So this we do every week. And some weeks are really good ones. This was a pretty good one. Some of them, they can't all be masterpieces, but we do one every single week. And we've been doing it, I want to say we've got over 250 of them archived. So however many weeks that is, how many years that is, we've been doing them for a long time. Because those really get a lot of people really engage with them. They get a kick out of them. So we're there for that. Tumblr. Now you're going, what? What's Tumblr and why do I care? Well, Facebook has 9,000 something followers, and Instagram has, what do we got? So we up to 5,500 on Instagram. Tumblr has 8,000 something followers, what we have. So it's almost as many as Facebook and not as many as Instagram. And it's not as well known of a platform. So people are very confused as to why that would be. But Tumblr is I can't even explain what it is, but it's part blog, part information sharing, part silly memes. There's a lot of stuff on it. And we use it as a reader's advisory tool. So of course, the same as Facebook, is for every one informational post, we got 2 silly posts, because that's the formula that works the best for us. So we get a lot of silly puns and quotes and memes. And then every couple of days, I'll throw in one of these book lists on the right here. Now, I don't make these up. I curate them from other sites, but I add links to our catalog for every single book on the list. So if you're looking at this list and you're interested in one of these books, if you click on the title, it brings you to our catalog to read more about the information. So it's a way of providing a reader's advisory service online. And it's fun. The blog, Harold knows all about the blog. He's a blog contributor. The blog we post once a week. And so this is long form. And what we use this for is varied. It's a lot of it's reader's advisory. Some of it is informational, like how to sew a face mask, how to detect fake news when you're online. Then there's book lists like the mysteries and the fantasies, and Harold has written several posts about science fiction, which have been great. So this particular social media venue takes quite a bit of time because these posts are time consuming to create, which is why we only post once a week. And it's me and a couple other people that create the content, but we're always looking for more. So if you know anybody that wants to write about books for the blog, send them to me. We got several subscribers on this, but you don't have to subscribe to our blog to read the blog posts. So we have a lot of readers that aren't subscribers. They just pop in and read our stuff. Again, everything that we talk about in the blog, we link back to our catalog for more information. So everything has a way back to our catalog. And YouTube, Jared's going to talk a little bit more about this because we're new to YouTube. We really started ramping up our YouTube during shutdown because it was the only way to get live content out there for people to look at before we started doing Zoom programs. And we have a lot of different types of content on YouTube. We have how-tos, like how to make this book turkey here up at the top. This is our most popular post ever. It's had over 25,000 views. And Sherry, our administrative assistant who makes all this book art that you might have seen around the library, I convinced her to let me film her making one of these book turkeys, and people went crazy for it. But then we started having people, while we were on shutdown, our staff started making videos just in their homes, wherever they were. So, Erin made a video about making a green screen. Somebody, Lauren made a video about how to make a homemade pizza. Jared did a magic trick. So it was really kind of fun to have all these different people just kind of showing what they could do. It was neat. We do have some children's content on there. We have something called Lit Tips for Littles, which are early literacy tips that Allie does, with little songs and tips for how to create early learning experiences for toddlers. And then Jared made a really fun video when we reopened about, it was a parody of Full House. And that, if you haven't seen it, it's hysterical, which a lot of the libraries contributed to. So those are our main ways of getting the word out and communicating with people. It's marketing, but it's not just, it's marketing for the library, but it's also just marketing for the world of libraries in general. So we're not just advocating for our library, we're advocating for the importance of libraries everywhere. And that all comes back to us eventually as well. I'm going to toss it over to Jared now. He can pick it up from where I left off. Let me stop sharing my screen.
There we go. All right. Yeah, so where Louise does a lot of our, what I call the front end, which is sort of promoting to the public, I'm a little more on the back end, which is sort of the nitty gritty technical end of things. And it's a lot more one-on-one with patrons and with our own staff. So in-house, that can be anything from the W key is not working on this one keyboard to our entire network is down and nobody can get on any of the computers. So if there's something in the library that is broken or needs addressing or needs improving, replace, I'm sort of the one that sort of needs to address that issue. And then with patrons, it's a lot of technology programs, but also one-on-one help as well. For example, we have a lot of patrons that are new to handheld devices, tablets. They're trying to read some library content on their Kindle, and they got it for Christmas, and they do not know how to even turn the thing on. So yeah, it's a lot of tech support that way. And with COVID, it's sort of presented new challenges because whereas normally you could bring your device right in and we would grab it right from you, get up close and personal and touch on your device. That's a big no-no now, of course. So we've switched a lot of that to the Zoom help as well as call-in tech support over the phone. So even today I had a patron that was trying to access some of our digital catalog on Kindle. Yeah, and so it requires a lot of patience over the phone and kind of describing what screens we're looking at and kind of following along on our own devices. So yeah, we do a lot of media production as well. So Louise is phenomenal at promoting our content and promoting our events, but she a lot of times needs content to promote. So if we can have other staff, myself included, create some videos or some pictures or and really any kind of media that we can get out there that's fun and engaging, it makes Louise's job a little easier because then she's got some stuff that she can put on all of those social media platforms. So I will share my screen and just show you some of the videos that we were doing. So the COVID shutdown, I should say, was kind of a unique opportunity to ramp up our YouTube, like Louise was saying, but also have a lot of our staff present talents and some content that they would want to get out there that they may not have done a full program for. For example, I did one where, yeah, it was like a kid's magic trick. And I probably wouldn't have held the whole entire program to show you one magic trick to make something disappear in a cup. But it gave a lot of our staff the ability to do sort of a one-off where they can say, oh, I know how to do this thing. And the videos ranged from children's crafts to technology help. And I'll show you a few here that we can jump into. And it should be coming up. Do you guys see any slides yet? No? There we go. Perfect. And I'll get me in the corner here.
Good now. Yep, we see it.
Okay, perfect. So here, I'll just play a few clips from some of the ones that we did. This is Erin, a member of our staff who oh, man, this may not play for me. I may switch to the, here, I'll just share the actual video. Give me one sec. I'll have to say that, yeah, sort of a new feature, but they let you do slides as the background, but I guess you can't do a video in a slide. That is good to know. There we go. Can you guys see that? Perfect.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. So Erin and I were actually able to collaborate where she put up this green screen in her own apartment and did some narration over it. And then once she was done showing you how to set up the green screen, she tossed it over to me, and then I was able to edit my portion of the video where I come in and show you how to actually remove the background and use the green screen from a technical standpoint. So it was a cool opportunity where we had staff sort of collaborating over Zoom and over different platforms to still deliver really good content and not let the sort of distance separate everybody here. Here's the magic trick that I did on mine. So it kind of ranged from that. We did some summer reading adventure to promote our summer reading for 2020. And we did a video where we had some puppet characters get sucked into a book world here. And then we had our staff play the puppets as once they went into the, the book world. So yeah, we were able to really open the floor up to all of our staff who were working remotely, and everyone was able to contribute a video. The next one we did was our Full House parody, which was the idea of our children's department. And this was a video to announce our reopening. So we wanted to let everyone know that the library was going to be back open to the public, but that there were a few restrictions and a few new rules, and we decided to do it in sort of a funny way to get some eyes on it.
With a strain of social distancing, ain't a soul who knows your face. Then a little post on Facebook tells you, kid, come back to the best place.
So we did the cheesy intros for the staff, just like the old sitcoms.
A story to greet you. Everywhere a book, everywhere a book.
So we did a whole music number with that, and I don't know if you noticed on the this part here, we were kind of going through and showing all the different ways the library was going to be a little safer with COVID. But one of them, what we did was this section here, where we were trying to show staff working with a patron remotely on Zoom. So that was one of the challenges in-house that we had to set up, because we have a lot of patrons that need help as they are working on our PCs right in the library. Even if they're just having trouble printing something, they can't get a file to open. There's a plethora of technical issues that can arise. And normally, pre-COVID, we could kind of get right over the shoulder and assist. So we needed a creative way to be able to help patrons, but not get too close. So we set up Zoom from our staff desk to each individual PC. So anyone who requested help could do so through the Zoom app, and then we could sort of converse with them and even take over their controls in the computer to give them a hand. So yeah, so with some fun videos like that, we were able to kind of utilize everyone's talents, especially with the musical ones there. We actually had some talented guitar players and singers that we recreated the theme song there and changed the lyrics. Yeah, so COVID has really been a challenge, but it's also helped us utilize different ways that we can approach issues and reach out to our patrons. And I think it did it in a way that let even more of our staff feel like they were utilized in ways that they might not have been able to before.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jared and Louise.
Yeah, and I have to say that like everything you saw there, as I said before, it takes a lot of time. A lot of this, some of that stuff was done when we were all still at home. So the green screen video, Jared and Aaron were in completely different towns doing that together and collaborating, which was incredible. You know, and then the Zoom, I think we're maybe one of the only libraries that I've heard of among my colleagues who are offering help that way from the reference desk. That's been a huge challenge to try to help people and maintain social distancing. So you know, they've just, the creativity of this team, and then working with their colleagues to bridge all the different departments and needs is just, it's incredible. So like I said in the beginning, we're very lucky to have them. So thank you guys. That was a great presentation. Did anyone have questions for Emily or Louise or Jared?
Well, just out of curiosity, what platform or what CMS system does your website use? Does the town supply it, or do you use your own? Or
No, so we actually have our own. We're one of the only town departments that maintains their own website. We use WordPress, and we have a variety of plugins for it. But
okay,
yeah,
because it looks pretty good. You know,
It
it's
does, doesn't it? I mean,
very functional.
yeah.
yeah, I'm always on the lookout for something new. But you know, it's got, the thing with WordPress is it's the most popular CMS. So
Right.
there's hundreds of plugins for like everything you could think of.
Maybe thousands.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, thousands. Well, hundreds that are useful to us.
Us. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what percentage of the world's websites are on WordPress. Probably
There's a lot. It's like the majority. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks nice. So
Thank
thank you, Louise and Emily and Jared, for taking the time tonight to talk to us on the board. And all three of you did great presentations. Louise, I'll try and get you another blog.
I'm ready, Harold.
Okay.
If you got one, I'm ready.
I'll try and get one written up.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
So thanks again. You know, we really appreciate both your presentation and the work you have done on behalf of the town of Cheshire to make our library such a great library, and the outreach efforts that you're doing now in the COVID era, probably going to be referred to. You know, where do you think this is going to go? Do you think once COVID is over, you're going to change your strategies a little bit? More people start coming back in?
I think we're going to fold in what we've learned during COVID into what we're doing after COVID, because we've discovered a lot of things that we wouldn't have really even dipped our toe into before this, that easily have uses after this as well. So yeah, I think while we may not be doing all remote programming, I think we might continue to do some remote programming because more people can go to it.
It's very convenient.
Yeah. And you don't have to be live in Cheshire. You don't even have to live. You can be somebody that used to live in Cheshire that follows Cheshire Library, but now you live in California. But you could still go to one of our library programs. So that's kind of a neat thing.
And it's great for accessibility, particularly for people who may be housebound or have disabilities that don't allow them to make it easily to the library. So I think there's been an accessibility piece that we've discovered with being able to do things in this
And
way.
the cooking programs that the children's department does are really fantastic. And those work extremely well because everybody's in their own kitchen and they're following along with the cooking instructor, and they're all cooking to, you know, so you don't need like 100 setups for cooking. Everybody's got their own in their own home, and the kids love them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Louise,
yeah.
I was going to say to you, I've heard really great things about that, and
yeah,
I think that you've demonstrated to us the silver lining of COVID and how so many great things have grown out of the fact that we had to be home last winter and probably home again this winter.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to be able to Zoom or to be able to log in and have that information. You don't have to get in the car. You don't have to be worried about putting on your mask. So just wanted to thank you for everything you're doing, because I think that we have a program in Cheshire that is not rivaled to many other places. So
yes,
congratulations.
Congratulations on such a great job.
Yeah.
And I think this is good to have in the winter time too, because people don't get out as much sometimes.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Some
So
people
that's
can't
why
come
I'm
out,
saying,
they
you know,
can
we
go
may
enjoy some of it.
continue doing, right. You may continue doing some remote things even after we don't have to.
Yeah. And 10,000 people on your Facebook page?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of followers. Louise
We
does
have
a
a
great
lot
job.
of followers, yes, and from all over the world, but a lot of local followers as well. Yeah, so we have a very enthusiastic presence on social media, and keeping those people engaged and informed is well, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks again.
You're
We
welcome.
really appreciate you taking your time tonight to give this presentation.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely
welcome.
amazing.
We all enjoyed it.
Okay, now we have to move to the rest of our agenda. Um,
I'm
Terry?
gonna leave. You guys have fun.
Okay.
You guys are good to go. Thank you,
Bye,
Jordan.
Louise.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great meeting everyone.
Bye.
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 Okay. Terry, treasurer report?
Yes, we have $1,110 in the treasury.
Okay.
So we've still got quite a bit of money.
We seem to have lost Todd.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he got disconnected.
Yeah, I didn't notice him leave. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. I don't see him. Okay. Thank you for the report. We don't have to formally accept the treasurer's report on this board, do we? No.
No.
Communications? Does anybody have any communications? No? Okay. Report of the chair. I really don't have too much this month. Sylvia is still going to get the letter read into the town council. I guess they just had to find a place in the agenda for it. Like I said earlier, I'd like to get a presentation of some sort for each of our meetings to keep us informed. Maybe not necessarily just about our library, but things in general. So Beth and I can work together to come up with some other programs for us. Last month we had Tom in, so we'll keep at it. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. I'm looking at my notes here. That's about it, which is a good thing in some ways. Everybody in town, agrees that the library does a great job.
Yeah.
So it's an easy thing. Okay. Report of the library director.
Okay, so I also don't have an extensive report this month. There's not really much new in terms of reopening from what I reported last time, although as I'm sure most of you are aware, last week Cheshire moved into the red zone. So we definitely will not be expanding any services or hours at this time. In terms of if we were to roll back to say just doing curbside again, I have not received any direction to that extent from the town manager, but I know that town management is very closely watching the situation with Chesapeake Health District, and I'm sure if there are any changes to anything that we're doing, we'll be in communication with the town management on that, and I will certainly let all of you know as soon as I hear anything. But what I do every November is I submit to the state library the report of our statistics from the previous fiscal year. So I thought to round out this report, I would just give you the highlights of that. So this covers the period of July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. So it did cover about a quarter of the year that was impacted by COVID. So as would be expected from our closure beginning March 13th, that caused our annual visits to go down about 30%. And the loans of our physical items, actual physical materials people can come in and check out, that was also down 30%. Thanks in part because we did offer almost immediately virtual programming. Our programs, the number of programs we offered was only down 16%. And there were some silver linings in our statistics due to the pandemic. Our library card registrations are up 17%. Our use of databases, so these are things like Ancestry.com, Mango Languages, Value Line, they're up 48%, the use of those databases. And so that's something we sometimes struggle to get a lot of use. Those can be pricey. So Ancestry, I think the big win with them is that they knew that usually that is a database that you can only use within the library building itself, the way that they have their subscription set up. But when COVID happened, they opened it up so that we could offer it remotely, and that will continue through December. So that got a lot of use. I hope that they may continue a model where we can provide that, because I think that's something people really like. And then our downloads of digital books, magazines, and videos is up 30%. And that's in that time period. So I think that we did see a lot of virtual use of the library during COVID. So between all of the things that you heard the marketing team and technology team talk about tonight, and then our digital and database platforms and the ability, because we offered the ability for people to get new library cards online and then use them for those resources, that also drove registrations. So I'm happy about that. The next report for the fiscal year we're in now is going to have even probably some more impact in terms of being closed and what we could offer, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But the numbers are going to be a little different for the next year or so. And other than that, that's pretty much all I have. We're just kind of holding steady and continuing to see about the same traffic in the library, and everybody's doing a great job just being safe and providing services as best we can.
Okay, thank you. I just have one quick question.
Excuse me, Harold, I don't mean to interrupt. I do apologize. I have to leave the meeting. Everyone continue to be safe. Beth, you and the library are doing we just can't describe what a great job you all have been doing, and trying to stay safe and keep everybody else safe. And everybody have a very safe, though small, Thanksgiving. And I will see you guys all next month.
Okay, thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
You
Sorry.
too. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kathy.
Let's see, what was I going to ask you? Oh, is there any guidance from the state, or does each town make a decision based on the town management and the library director, their hours and their policies about when they're going to be open, closed?
There's guidance in terms of from the state library in terms of what to offer during different levels of maybe the health crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a plan that you could do both going forward or in reverse. So kind of the rollout that you saw us do had a lot to do with what they recommended during phase 1, phase 2, going into phase 3. Libraries, remember, were part of reopening in phase 2. So the governor has not rolled us back past phase 2. We're in phase 2.1 right now. And I think what then came after that guidance was each town needed to look individually at what was going on. So, in terms of what happens locally, I think it'll be a town by town decision.
Okay, thank you, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep track of how many people are in the library at any one time? Do you have someone that's responsible for that, or?
So when we first reopened, we did keep someone kind of monitoring the door, not necessarily counting each person, but just sort of eyeballing, how many people we've had in. I have an array of cameras that I have monitors set up in my desk. So I can actually also monitor from my office what's going on in the library. And honestly, we haven't had to count because people are coming in kind of sporadic, waves, and it's not ever been so many that they couldn't socially distance or that we needed to have lines waiting outside or anything. So right now we're not doing any formal counting. We're just watching and making sure that people aren't kind of clumping up together or being too crowded, but we haven't seen that kind of traffic. So we haven't had to.
All set, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Harold, I had one other question for Beth, and I may have missed this, but Beth, in the presentation last year that you had put together regarding the elimination of fines, whatever happened with that? Are we doing that? Has anything evolved with that?
So we are not charging fines. We're a fine-free library. The town council voted officially to not expect to see that revenue source for this fiscal year. And then I'm not sure what the progression is from there to continue, but I'm sure we'll have discussion about that at the next budget cycle as we go. My hope obviously is that we will keep this process in place. I think the patrons it's been really helpful during this time, but I also think it's just helpful in general for our residents to be able to access services without fear of a penalty simply because they kept a book out too long. You know,
Good.
but we are right now a fine-free library.
Okay, good.
Sure.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you, Beth. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
report. And next, do we have any unfinished business? Okay. Any new business? This is getting easier.
This isn't really new business, but I guess I would just say that I think we should plan the meetings to be virtual for a while. When we went into the red zone, the town manager did say that meetings need to resume to a virtual environment if they had moved to in-person, which some had. So I think just should be planning this to be Zoom for a while yet.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Some
And
of
the
us
other-
are in the high risk zone.
yes.
So
And it's November and the holidays will be really different, Harold and Terry, but, or Beth, maybe you have some ideas. What can we do for your staff just to thank them for all that they've done? You know, maybe some ideas.
Okay, put my thinking cap on and get you some ideas.
Maybe we do it for the new year, you know, and yeah, talk about
Maybe then they'd appreciate it more in the new year, then they'll probably.
Talk
get
about it in December.
holiday.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good suggestion, Jody. Any other new business? I don't know if we're still at quorum, but we started out, so I think that's official. Someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Jody seconds.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.